What's up, you guys? It's Simon. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, really quickly before we get into the actual topic, I just wanted to mention that I'm so sorry if you guys can hear my laptop fans kicking on and off. They're so loud and like buggy right now, and I don't know why. And I lost the driver that allows me to control how strong they are, and for some reason the website is just acting like my laptop doesn't exist. The driver, the SNID number, whatever it is, it just says that it doesn't exist, even though I can see it on the bottom of my laptop, and I've quadruple checked it at this point. It just keeps saying it doesn't exist, so there's nothing that I can do about it. I'm pretty sure based on a previous recording you guys can actually hear it. Hopefully that is not the case. I'm so sorry if it is. But anyway, getting on to the actual video. Today's video is in collaboration with my partner, which I am so excited about. So a few months ago, I started seeing this trend on TikTok that's kind of died down since. I haven't seen it in a hot minute, but it was really cool. And it was where you would have this piece of line art and you would split the video down the center, and you would render one half where your friend, you would render the whole illustration, but you'd only see the one half of the video, obviously. And then your friend, partner, whoever, would render the other half, and there's no rules involved, so you both could do completely different color palettes, lighting styles, whatever. All you have to do is adhere to the same piece of line art, which I thought was super interesting and really cool, and something that I definitely wanted to try on my YouTube channel, so I did. So for this piece, we have this little like clown girl type character, and I'm kind of on the fence about how I feel about her, mainly because I've been doing this style a lot lately that's kind of doodly, shape language heavy type illustration work, but I never finish anything because I'm like, that's not my art style. And the reason that I bring that up is because that's kind of how this piece was. I don't know if you guys can see in the actual video, but she was just a lot more like doodly, cutesy, almost like Adventure Time-y looking kind of thing. And I ended up rendering it in my original illustration style because this was just supposed to be a thumbnail, but I think I like the thumbnail more. But anyway, I still like this piece. I like her little heart bangs. I think they're so cute. And I definitely don't think that it's a bad illustration. I still think that it would be really fun to render. So that is what we ended up deciding on. So now moving on to color. Ooh, color was interesting. So the reason that I say color was really interesting is because due to the nature of this video, we had to split it down the center, right? But I didn't want each half of our videos to be like us rapidly at different times, of course, because we both have different processes in illustration, us rapidly like tilting the canvas, flipping it back and forth, zooming in and out all around on both sides. I thought that would be a huge headache, so everything had to obviously be very static, and because of that I had to use Procreate's and Krita's built-in recording feature. Krita's built-in feature, by the way, I have beef with whoever at Krita decided that that was the way that they were gonna go. I don't know anything about programming and how Procreate does it, but holy bejesus, Krita is like 15 steps to be able to have a screen recording function. It's crazy. It is crazy. I don't know why it's like that. But anyway, so then there was that, and then Procreate. So you guys know with Procreate, you could spend 3 hours in Procreate and end up with a 3-minute video. So obviously, that means that I need to slow down the footage so that you guys can actually listen to me talk through it and not have this be a 4-minute video. That wouldn't be fun. So hopefully everything doesn't look too choppy and everything looks really nice and interesting and cohesive. Anyway, getting into the actual coloring now. So for me, I have been so indecisive lately, again, about my art style, but also about colors. So I started off with like this blue and purple and a little bit of yellow just to accent, because she had teardrops on her cheeks, so I was like, why don't we lead into the blue kind of sad clown aesthetic? But just something about it was like, it's not that it wasn't cohesive. I really liked the colors and how they worked together. It's just something about it. I was like, I'm disinterested in this particular palette for this character. She's begging for something else, something a little darker, maybe. So I moved on to this gray, white, red black, kind of almost like Alice in Wonderland kind of card face type character. And I really liked that. I almost was like, by the second one, I was like, I'm gonna do this. But then when I started like coloring her ears in, I was like, wait, they're gonna think that this is so Homestuck. This particular shade of gray that I used for her skin is so Homestuck. As much as that's not a bad thing, I very much was a Homestuck stan in middle school, right? I want this to stand out as its own character and not as like a troll that is a clown. So I decided I would move on to another color palette, but I tried to pull the red in from her hair because I really enjoyed the red, and I didn't know if I was gonna go like this burgundy color for her skin or keep it in her hair, and I kind of swapped between the two. I ended up completely going away from that burgundy color into like a darker purple, and then I had some light pink, and I kept the red from the gray sketch initially, and then I settled, quote unquote, on that one. And then halfway through, I was like, I don't like it. Something about it, after I finished rendering the skin, I was just like, I'm not vibing with this. Is this really pretty? Is this a really pretty color? Absolutely. Is this what I want to do for this character? No. So what I ended up doing was actually combining that purple palette with what I remembered of the gray palette, because I had erased it, and so I couldn't color drop from it anymore. So there was a couple minutes of me trying to like actually figure out how to get those colors, a lot of layer modes and changing things and trying to get things right, and eventually I kind of did like a more lilac-y purple gray-ish color. It's still on the darker side of like still like leaning towards purple as opposed to gray, but it's like a lot more desaturated, and then I also tried to give the impression that she had like white like grease paint on her face, but I only smudged it like a little tiny bit by her ears, and a little bit on her forehead, but it ended up just kind of looking like shading, but I just wanted to give the impression that it is like rubbing off in certain places, but I didn't want to do that too much because I really liked how I rendered it, so I didn't want to erase any of that hard work, but yeah, anyway, I finally settled on mixing it, especially because another reason that I wanted to mix them was because that dark purple with that light red, it was like too contrasty, but I wanted her cheeks to be red so bad, but when I looked at it, I was just like, that's not right. I'm not vibing with it. But when I did the version with the grease paint and the lilac, I was like, ooh, this is so much better. And then I don't know if you guys can see it yet, but I went down and I multiplied that layer, and it turned into like that burgundy color again, and I was like, oh my god, yes. So I really liked how that turned out. And then I started doing the hair, and the hair was a bit of a struggle for me as well, because again, I deleted the previous layer that had the gray palette on there, so I lost that color that I was really enjoying, and I think it ended up as more of like a purpley wine than it did like that nice burgundy, but I'm not too mad about it, because again, her skin was much more purple in this rendition rather than the previous one where it was just pretty much reddish pinkish gray. So I think if I did have a burgundy, that it kind of would have been out of place, if that makes sense, because the reds also, even before I multiplied it, were a little pinky red rather than an orangey red, and I think a burgundy would have made it to almost brown looking. It would have looked like a dark brown rather than like a nice red, like a rich red. So definitely decided to lean more into that wine aspect. And then it was just a matter of getting all the little tiny elements down, like her teardrops, her eyebrows, and her hat and her pom-poms, and I kind of just slapped those colors down, because after I rendered the hair, I was like, I'm done with this, and I actually ended up doing this thing that you guys can't see, and you guys will see when I finished it, but I actually split her face so that one half has like black eyelashes, the other has white, and then the teardrop and the eyebrows are flipped as well, so it's kind of like right down the center. And I also split her lip like her makeup. You guys can see I almost did it like top and bottom, but I ended up doing it left and right instead, which after I did that, I was like, you guys can't see that, but you will see it at the end when I do a side-by-side. Well, not a side-by-side, because the way that I did the canvas, it's as big as the screen, but I'll show both of our pieces finished, like fully versioned at the end of this video. I am rambling today. Hopefully that made sense. Oh, I can see my cat in the backyard. Oh, she's so cute. Oh wait, is that my cat? Fun fact, I randomly, all these cats on my porch lately. It's crazy. They're so cute. There's been like 5 of them. I'm like, where are all y'all coming from? Literally, like randomly. Just the last week. I don't know where these cats are coming from, but they're babies. Anyway. What was I saying? Cat distraction. So, I just kind of did those final elements as kind of like a little, like, just put some shines on the bells. I wanted to render the pom-poms, but I forgot. And yeah, just little tiny details that some you can see, some you absolutely can't. Don't know why I did it that way, but hopefully you guys like it. So moving on to my partner's side. So his is actually really cool, and I really like it. And fun fact, I don't know if you can actually see it in the recording, because I can't remember based on the speed paint of his that I saw, but we almost went for a really similar color palette, because I don't know if you're supposed to show each other in the middle of it, but my partner wanted to show me, and so of course I looked, and we, when I was still doing the gray palette, so before I'd even planned the purple, he showed me his, and he had also picked a gray and red kind of thing, and I was like, what? Oh my god, that's so cool. But then I still went and did the purple one afterwards, because I was like, I don't know if I'm settling on this just yet. And he ended up changing his as well to like a gray and yellow, which you guys have probably already seen by now, and I thought that was super interesting. I don't have much to say about my partner's process because he is pretty shy, and didn't of course want to come on and do a voiceover, which makes sense because I can't do voiceovers in front of him. I'm in my car for a reason. I get anxious. I can't do it. I get so nervous, just because it's like, it's so weird to have other people listen to you talk to yourself. Anyway, so what I do know is that he said that he was having some frustration with the colors as well, because he kept going through this phase of like adding shading and then thinking, oh, that shading's too light, she looks too light now, I need to add some darker shading in there, and then he would do that and he'd be like, well, now it's too dark, so now I need to lighten it and do all this stuff. And so there was a lot of him changing the lighting and how he rendered that, and I thought it was super cool what he finally ended up setting on. Another thing that I want to mention is my partner usually renders over line art when he's doing like full finished pieces, so I did say, I was like, hey, if you want to change the line art in any way, you absolutely have free reign to do so. If you want to paint over it, you can do that. I'm so glad he did because it looks so cool. I literally was watching his speed paint with him and I was like, I'm gonna steal how you paint noses. I'm gonna steal it. I'm gonna do that because it's so cute. He just paints the cutest little button noses and I think they're adorable. I think they're so freaking cute. So definitely stealing that. But also another thing that I really liked, there's 2 things that I really liked, was how he rendered the lips also. Because we were both going through this struggle of, do we portray her real lips underneath like the kind of clownish heart, or do we just leave it at the heart? And I ended up doing it way more subtle, but he kind of like outlined her lips in such an awesome way. It looks so natural and so nice and so pretty. I really love his art style. The way that he paints things is just so, I don't even know how to word it. It's so good. I really like it. And then he actually finished way quicker than me, and so there was a period of time where he was just stuck having to add accents to his piece because I was like, I'm still working on it, because I took like 25 minutes to settle on a color palette. And so he started doing all these little like tick marks, like lines on his character, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so glad you did that. She looks soft. Like if you look particularly on her cheeks, like where her little yellow makeup is, I'm sure that this wasn't his intention, or maybe it was, I don't know. I haven't asked him, he's sleeping. But the little fluffs on the cheeks look like you seeing your face in the light. If you look at a human person in the light, you can see that they have like little peach fuzzes on their cheeks, and that is exactly what it reminds me of. She just looks so soft and nice and sweet, and I love it. I really love how he interpreted this piece. And also, as someone who, you know, has a completely different art style from their partner, seeing how he interprets my pieces is so interesting. I might ask him if he wants to do a version where we do his line art, if you guys really like this style of video, because again, we have drastically different art styles. So seeing how he interprets my work is so interesting, and I think it would be fun to see how I can interpret his work. I don't know. If that sounds like fun, perhaps I will do it. But anyway, that is it for this video, you guys. I'm so sorry if it was rambly. I did not have a script for this video because I just would have been really hard to script something like this. So I just tried to go with my gut feeling and how fun and how, you know, what I was thinking as I was going through this particularly interesting process. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment down below letting me know if you want to see me do his line art, or if there's any other kinds of videos you guys want to see me do on this channel. I love you guys so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.